The views and opinions presented in this media format don't reflect the views and opinions of Gracie NEPA as a whole. This broadcast is meant for entertainment purposes only and is the product of two idiots with microphones and far too much time on their hands. If you are easily offended, this podcast probably isn't for you. In addition, the content herein contains loud noises, adult humor, and language not suitable for children and most adults. Also, the opinions expressed herein are not intended for legal, medical, or financial advice. We are not experts, although we play them on TV. Void where prohibited. Batteries not included. No purchase necessary to win. Open to all legal residents 18 years or older in the continental U.S. Dealer participation may affect actual costs. Hosts are not responsible for personal items left in your car while listening to this or any other broadcast. This broadcast has zero cash value and should remain frozen until ready for use. Also, it should not be used by pregnant or nursing women and has been known to cause violent outbursts in lab animals. In case of ingestion, induce vomiting, and remember, these are professional drivers on a closed course. Do not attempt this at home. Serious penalty for early withdrawal and not a member of the FDIC.
What's up?
Tyler Calvi, Jeff Reese.
We're back.
Another episode. I don't know what episode this is, though. It all runs together. 13? Lucky number 13?
Something like that, yeah.
We'll figure it out later. When I'm doing the post-editing, I'll make sure I put the right numbers on it.
But we're back. We had a couple weeks off.
Yeah, we missed last week.
Yeah.
But last week was the heat wave.
Yes.
And it's ungodly hot inside of this room.
For sure.
On a normal day. So on a 100-degree day. Wind chill factor, 98 degrees.
Disgusting.
Yeah, neither one of us really felt like doing it, so we took the week off because we're allowed to do that. We're not professional podcasters,
no.
So we can pretty much do whatever the fuck we want to do.
No, we are. If professionals were fucking, we're just kind of jerking off at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and just newly discovered it.
Yeah, we're like just flicking it around.
Yeah, we're still doing it dry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We haven't even discovered lube.
Not even spit. We haven't evolved to yet. You know, when you're in a pinch, you don't have any good lube, and you gotta spit on it.
Actually, my first was like I used like shampoo or conditioner. That was my first lube. But I got lube early. I don't know how or why, but I don't know. I think I heard in a movie once, like if you jerk off dry, you're a fucking
you're a serial
killer or a peeping Tom.
Yeah.
Like you're either a serial killer because you're just jerking off on the go, or you're a peeping Tom because you're just in the bushes somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if I'm gonna jerk off, I'm gonna fucking chill out. I'm gonna throw headphones in.
I don't know. I was colonial. I grew up in the colonial
You did,
area. We didn't have lube.
That's true.
It was like chicken grease or something.
Yeah.
You know. So most of the time it would have been like tree sap, and that didn't work out well.
No, I was full on. Like I graduated to like actual KY lube like early
in your career.
Because I was like, as a teenager, I masturbated so much that it was kind of a necessity, you know.
Yeah, you were burning through shampoo. Mom was like, "What are you fucking doing with all this
Running
shampoo?"
Through fucking lotions and all different crazy shit. So yeah, and you find out, you do a little research, and you find out that's not so good for the. You know, getting in there.
Getting in the urethra.
Yeah, that's just a little stingy.
Yeah.
So,
UTI. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Uterus? No.
No.
You don't have a uterus. What do you have?
Urinary
tract infection.
Yeah.
Yeah. A uterus tract infection is something different.
Yeah, I thought I caught gonorrhea before I even had sex. I never had sex before, but I thought I had chlamydia or something.
I got chlamydia from a toilet seat.
Yeah.
But
it was just shampoo.
It was the shampoo.
Yeah, it was medicated shampoo.
We devolved quickly. Yeah. We were supposed to be talking about UFC, and now we're talking about KY instead. Let's bring it back to UFC. We might get back to jerking off, but
maybe
let's talk about UFC 226. 226.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. 226. The fight I was most excited for got scratched.
Yes, Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, T-City.
Yeah.
And you have a theory on this? You think Max went and said he wasn't ready?
No, I'm just saying, like, how do you get... Because the fight was canceled for concussion-like symptoms.
Right.
How are you sparring that hard 10 days or a week before a fight?
He's Hawaiian.
It's irresponsible.
Well, here's my thing,
like fucking Ken Shamrock getting cut like 2 days before the fight because he was sparring.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't do that. You're a professional. You should know better. And, you know, what did he do? Get ramped up? Because there's no reports on it. There's nothing that says what. You know,
really just...
Was he going with a sparring partner? They got a little heated, ramped up. You know, Max loses his cool. The other guy loses his cool. And now, you know, everybody's out.
But my thing, though, is concussion-like symptoms, they can't... He's got to give the information up. right? Like there's no test they can do.
Well, no, but
Like-
if somebody in
like-
his camp, leaked the information or whatever,
Yeah.
and depending on how bad it is, I mean, concussion, like symptoms, you got vertigo, you got vomiting, there's
That's
all
true.
kinds of stuff that
Yeah.
go with concussion.
Yeah, no,
So it
I
depends
agree.
on-
But as a professional, and this is the second time in 2 instances,
Third time
But-
he's pulled out because of an injury.
but the second time in close.
Right,
Like,
yeah, very
Conor,
close, yes.
not Connor.
The Khabib.
Khabib.
Yeah.
He had a chance for Khabib. He couldn't make weight. They
Right.
pulled the plug.
Yep.
And then this one.
Yeah.
So,
He tripped over the cord, tore his MCL or whatever it was.
which though it's kind of interesting from what I'm hearing is that he'll be cleared by
The next
the
card.
next
which is
card.
August.
So if they
Yeah.
move this, it'll be TJ versus Cody.
Yep.
Cejudo
Which could be a
versus
real
DJ.
good card.
Cejudo versus
Yeah.
DJ, followed by a Max T City,
Yeah.
which would be 3
I'm
title
surprised
fights.
by that Cejudo.
DJ?
That's a rematch. And the
It
first
is a
fight was
rematch.
kind of meh.
Well, DJ's gone through the division.
I know, but the first time around was like
Yeah.
it was like jerking off
There's
without
nobody
Lube.
else. There's nobody else.
Yeah, I know.
There's nobody else.
I know. It's
And
not,
here's
it's not a fight I'm really interested
But
in.
here's
though.
the thing, though. I think that they want TJ and DJ on the same card,
Yeah.
so they can kind of if TJ Dillashaw beats Cody,
Right.
there's kind of nobody left for him to fight either.
Yeah.
TJ's
they
got.
can do the super.
They're gonna have to
Right.
do the super fight.
Yeah. Which we'll get to later
Especially
with the super
after, yeah,
Yeah.
especially after last night.
last night's super fight. Yeah.
So
But I'm a T City fan. I know you're a T City.
yeah, I love
yeah,
T City,
yeah, T-City's
but
good.
I'm taking Max Holloway in this
Are you
fight.
taking Max Holloway in this fight?
I don't know though. With the concussion protocol, I don't know. Maybe he's maybe slightly more susceptible to being knocked out
again?
now.
Yep.
So, but
Yeah.
before that was leaked, I was gonna say I think Max is a better complete MMA fighter, and T City hasn't been tested too much yet. The Clay Guida fight was actually an interesting fight. Clay Guida beat him for basically the whole
Right,
and
yeah,
he got
he had-
caught with the knee
and he-
the last minute of the
Right.
third round.
He survived an entire fight.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
know he can go the distance. We know he's got knockout power because he put Frankie down. Nobody's ever put Frankie down.
No.
He's a well-rounded fighter, and I'm a fan of his. Just like his outside of the ring. I don't even want to call it persona. Just
No,
his
personality.
personality outside
Yeah.
of the ring. He's very charitable and
Yeah.
does a lot. I think he's actually got the T City Foundation, which works with like underprivileged kids. He's just a good dude. Doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't all the stuff that. All the vices we enjoy jerking off without lube.
I'm sure
he's a
jerks
lube
off.
guy.
Yeah, he's a lube
No, he's
guy.
a lube guy. I'm
Oh,
just saying
that's
he's not a
technique.
fucking savage.
That's how I knew I was
He's not
jiu-jitsu.
colonial.
I was
you know.
jiu-jitsu way before, man.
Yeah.
I knew there
So
was
I'm a
better way.
T City fan, and actually it was a pretty cool thing because I guess people had flown in or were flying in from all over the world to see him fight and had bought
Yeah.
tickets. So he winds up doing a free seminar in Vegas for
I saw
anybody
that.
who was a
Ticket holder.
ticket holder,
Yeah.
or I guess not a ticket holder, but limited to the what do they call those? The certified training center people or whatever the hell they are.
Oh, okay.
Gracie University
Oh,
people.
okay.
You know what I mean, if you're learning jiu-jitsu online,
Right.
you would have been allowed to go to it, which is cool. He's obviously because I don't think he gets paid, right? Because the fight's canceled. There's probably something in his contract where he gets paid a certain percentage.
Yeah, he's got to
You know what I
get
mean?
paid something, I would
So I'm sure he gets
think.
paid something, but now he's doing this for free. And
But
he's
how
not
about you
getting
feel
paid.
that T-City, they were going to bring a replacement in? They were going to bring Travis Stevens
Yeah,
in.
I think he makes the right call.
Right call?
Yeah. Why? I'm promised a title fight. I want it to be a title fight. I'm not going to jeopardize my.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, this is the third time Max Holloway, because that's how T-City got
Right.
the shot in the first place,
Yeah.
is because Max Holloway pulled out of the Frankie
Pulled out
fight.
the Frankie fight, right?
Yeah, and then Frankie took the chance.
Frankie was supposed
short
to be
notice.
right.
Yeah.
So he learned from Frankie's mistake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I think, and this is the fight that I want to see. I rather see this fight than the Travis Stevens versus
Oh yeah.
T City
Yeah.
for an interim title.
Right. I don't want an interim title. I hate
No.
interim titles.
No, this is doable, but so obviously you're taking T City in
Yeah,
this
T
fight.
City. I like T City.
I don't know.
I'm all
I
about
think
it.
Max Holloway's cardio is superior. He's got that killer instinct.
Yep. No, I think it's gonna be a great fight. It's just if I'm
going to go
I'm
as
putting
far
down
as
my
saying
dollar.
this, but I'm going to go as far as saying if Max Holloway beats T City, he might be the best Hawaiian fighter of all time.
Yeah, little edge over BJ.
I think so. I think he's got just a more well-rounded game, and he is more willing to execute the game plan.
I'm gonna say
BJ. BJ kind of went off script sometimes and wanted to be a boxer.
Yeah,
and it just didn't. Some fights he just got outpointed,
Yep.
and he sometimes didn't come prepared with his cardio.
Right.
And to me, Max has all of that.
Yeah, I would put Holloway and Ortega both in the group of like the Demetrius Johnsons, the George St. Pierre's, the Cain Velasquez, where they're the most well-rounded fighters to step in the octagon. Like they're in an elite class.
Yeah.
You know, you get guys like the kickboxer from last night, Sakai, who lost to
Gogansaki.
Yes. Roundtree, right? He lost to Roundtree.
Yep.
So you get a guy like that who's very well accomplished in some other field. They come in. We see people like that all the time. They're great wrestlers. They're great boxers. They're great whatever. And then they get something's exploited.
Right.
You know, you're not going to see that with Holloway. You're not going to see that with Ortega. You're not going to see that with George St. Pierre, Demetrius Johnson. There's nothing to exploit. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you know, these are two of the most well-rounded fighters. So it's going to be interesting come August. I wish it was last night.
DC.
DC. Yeah, we're gonna get to DC. DC really impressed me last night.
But he's extremely well rounded.
Yeah.
I give him that.
Yeah,
he's developed a ton from just.
We'll get to that So we had the Sakai and Roundtree.
Yeah.
Roundtree wins TKO.
TKO.
Right, not KO. Right, TKO was a stoppage. Yeah.
Finished him with strikes.
And again, you know, it's like one of these things where you can't be one-dimensional coming into the UFC.
No.
And be successful. You can't be.
No.
You know, you just can't. We saw it with Holly Holmes is on the opposite end of that. She focused on her grappling in order to beat Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't think Sakai. I think he was just relying on his kickboxing ability.
Well,
he's
also
a great glory kickboxing champion, all of that.
Well, also though the flip side with Holly coming in, she had an edge in the opposite end of it because Ronda came in with a grappling pedigree that was so high, but her striking was not that great.
Right.
But she was so world class at one thing that of the other girls there was no world class any of them. Right. So and with the female division, there wasn't many lifetime athletes fighting.
Right.
Ronda was one of them. Holly's one of them.
Yeah.
But now these girls that were teenagers watching Ronda have been training since then. And now they've been doing jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and stuff for 10 years. Yeah. Now they're in the UFC doing, you know, like Amanda Nunes has been fighting for a long, long time of her life.
Yep.
You know, Cyborg fighting a long time of her life. Yep. So now it's these lifetime athletes. And that's the thing with the male division. These guys are all lifetime athletes.
Yes.
So if you come in with just one trick,
dimension, right,
it's going to be very difficult for you. And he got outstruck by a guy who's more of a wrestler, right? Roundtree's more of a wrestler.
Yeah.
But the threat of the two and being able to blend the wrestling and the boxing,
which played into DC's victory last night.
Absolutely.
You know,
that was the difference.
Roundtree was able to sit in a certain pocket that threatened grappling at all times.
Right.
And that's what DC did too.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, he outstruck Saki, but it was because of the threat of the grappling.
Yeah.
At all times.
Khabib Barboza.
Yeah. Yeah, same scenario, yeah.
Well, once you get taken down, and also you're a striker, and you start to have to grapple a little bit, now your arms get filled up with blood, because it's almost two different things. It's like asking a sprinter to run a marathon.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a two different. They're elite, but in a MMA fight, it's a little more of the anaerobic rather than the aerobic.
Right. Yes.
Right. So you have to be able to sustain output, but it's got to be over a longer time.
Right.
You know. So that's where these strikers have a tough time, especially once you start pushing them up against the cage a little bit. And if you get into their zone and make them have to grapple a little bit, it becomes a big problem for them.
For sure it does. Yeah. Yeah. Pettis and Casilla.
Yeah, Mike Casilla.
Who was injured in the Conor McGregor bus attack.
Yes.
But
that fight was supposed to happen that night.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah, Pettis looked good.
He looked good.
He looked real good.
Triangle, two-arm lock.
Yep.
finish, which was impressive because Mike Isaiah, he was a submission guy.
Right. Yeah.
That's like his forte. So, yeah, Anthony Pettis is one of those guys where I wouldn't be surprised if Stella gets her groove back at some point.
He's one of those guys that could come back around, like a Bisping. Like where
Bisping, right.
There's this middle lull and then boom, and there's this explosion at the end of a career.
And even Machida to a degree.
Machida,
I mean, is he going to be a champion again? I don't know.
There's always the threat of it.
But he went from world-class, unstoppable to, beatable, extremely beatable, almost beats himself in a lot of regards, and then I think he's going to bounce back and be one of those guys where at any given night he could beat a guy.
Yes.
But maybe not the champion.
Yeah, I mean, he has the potential, though.
He
has sure.
Well, he's got a little more time on his side as well.
He's got that whack. Yeah. I mean, he's got that striking ability that will put you to sleep.
Yes.
Quick.
And he's developing more and more along every other thing. His wrestling was a little suspect at times.
Yeah.
I think he's developed that a little more.
His jiu-jitsu's getting better. I mean, I know.
Well, jiu-jitsu's always been good.
It's always been good, but there's that jiu-jitsu.
Off his back.
Yeah, off his back. Right. But there's like jiu-jitsu and MMA jiu-jitsu. There's always, we talk about that all the time. There is a difference, You get people who are great sport competitors or great self-defense jiu-jitsu, and you put them in MMA, and it's just different an animal. The fight of the night, I think, was the next one, Felder Perry.
Yeah, Platinum Perry and the Dragon. There was a blood and guts.
Felder had a broken arm.
Yeah, broken arm in the first round.
First or second round?
Yeah,
was it the second round?
Maybe second round.
I think it was between the second and third round. He said something in the corner. That my arm's broke.
Yeah, he threw a spinning back fist and caught the forearm on the head. Well, Mike Perry's always entertaining.
Yep.
Like him or hate him or whatever.
Yeah, he's a polarizing figure.
Yeah, but he comes a scrap. Like he's like a Leben to me.
Yeah.
He can knock out almost anybody, but he's a little one-dimensional, and he lives a little too much on his fucking, I'm just going to go out there and scrap, bro.
Right. Yeah.
And I think most technical strikers and world-class guys are going to pick him apart.
Yeah, pick him apart.
Like, he goes and fights Colby Covington, or he goes and fights Woodley, like, they're going to grind him the fuck out.
Yeah. That explosion of, I don't know what Perry hit him with, but there was like an explosion where they actually stopped it immediately. And to have the doctors look at Felder for the cut. I don't know if it was his forehead or his knee. It was like,
yeah, blood and guts.
I mean, it was like immediate explosion of blood. I don't know if they thought they split his skull wide open or something. But the next one was Ngannou and Lewis, which hopefully people took a piss for, because that fight was...
And that's crazy. And this played a huge part into what happened after the main event.
Yeah.
Right? As ridiculous it is,
I know.
but it justified it, because if one of these guys, if Derek Lewis comes out and dominates Ngannou in an impressive fashion, you're almost like, this guy might deserve a shot at the title.
Right.
Or Ngannou comes out and dusts him in 45 seconds, and it's like, well, it's not Stipe, it's so let's put him in there, let's see what they can do.
Yeah.
It's almost like Rumble Johnson again, you know, for...
So and in Ngannou, I know like he knocks people out. He has the potential to knock people out. Certainly Lewis does as well. But Ngannou versus Stipe, I wasn't impressed with Ngannou. He didn't do shit.
No. But
I don't find him to be an impressive fighter.
But my thing is, he comes out and knocks out Derek Lewis in 45 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You go, maybe Stipe was just his kryptonite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's always that.
There's always that one
this guy
that,
is one touch away from death every time.
Yep.
So put him in a main event in a heavyweight title fight against DC rather than Stipe, and let's see what he can do.
Let's see what he can do, yeah.
But the fight was so bad.
There was, I saw a stat, it said there was, between the two fighters, there was 20 significant strikes landed in 3 rounds.
It was bad.
Yeah.
And I don't like to criticize fighters because they are putting it on the line. And these guys are heavyweights, and one bad mistake can be done.
Yes.
Lights out. It's not, oh, I get injured or hurt, or it's done. It's lights out, you're sleeping.
Right.
Heavyweights do not fuck around, especially Ngannou throwing fucking everything he throws bad intentions. But he threw everything he threw was bad intentions, which wasn't much, but it was just very single. He has no combinations.
There's no combinations.
There's no
threat of
takedowns,
There's
of
nothing.
clinching.
I think
of
Lewis
even
changed
kicks.
levels once in
Maybe,
the fight.
yeah.
Like one time he changed levels and
Yep.
got stuffed or something. But I liked what Bisbing and Florian kind of said after the fight was, listen, we got mad respect for these guys, but ultimately when you sign to fight,
You got
you gotta fight. You gotta fight. You can't just go in there, dance around, point spar.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get knocked out.
Yep.
And Bisbing, you love him or hate him, he's another polarizing figure, but he was a guy that always showed up to fight.
Yeah.
Whether he got knocked out or knocked somebody out, he always showed up to fight.
Mhm.
Same with Kenny Florian, he never point sparred. So these are guys who, they're saying, hey, we got mad respect for these guys as fighters, but tonight they dropped the ball. And they did. There's no sugarcoating it. They dropped
did
the
too,
ball.
because the heavyweight division is wide the fuck open.
Right.
Especially now.
Yeah.
But it's wide open.
Right.
As far as you have one impressive victory. That's the difference between the heavyweight division and every other division. Every other division, I feel, has guys who are up and coming
Yeah.
and willing to are putting together winning streaks.
Yes.
That you go, okay, this guy throwing it like Colby Covington was on a winning streak. He's undefeated. He kind of came out of nowhere and became an interim title holder now.
Yep.
He's got to fight for the title.
Yes.
And he kind of came out of nowhere, but he's putting streaks together. So you go, this guy might. Heavyweight division, you're like, they all beat each other.
They all beat each other.
So it's whoever has the most impressive last fight gets a shot.
Yeah.
And that's why Brock Lesnar is needed in the heavyweight division, and which is crazy that he's still the biggest draw and probably one of the top 5 heavyweights in the world still. Even though it's crazy.
It's maddening. It's maddening.
So that's disappointing, because it really could have been a Derek Lewis's final shot to get a title shot. If he goes out there, takes him down, grinds him out, beats him up, really looks impressive, and says, "Hey man, I'm here to win fights," and I'm so. But
the UFC is definitely a "what have you done for me lately" organization. It's you're only as good as your last performance, and Dana's gonna look at that and go, neither one. Your guys are both taking a back seat.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened after the main event, which we'll talk about, it makes that it almost validates that. Like I said, if they did that, what they did after the main event, and this was in the air of, man, this guy, Ngannou might deserve a shot. He might have just been in, the lights got him.
Yeah.
Let's give him a second shot at the bite at the apple, because this guy can fucking dust people. He can put people to sleep. But, with that, it makes bringing Brock Lesnar back so justified.
Yeah.
100% justified, and nobody can argue now that, this guy deserves it over this guy or this guy. Nope.
Yeah, they suck.
That's why they have DC fighting for the heavyweight title.
Right.
Because
you got to make it interesting.
Yeah, there's nobody else.
Who was Stipe going to fight?
Nobody at this point.
Yeah. So you have the super fight. You have the main event,
Cormier
Stipe versus Cormier.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised. I said this to you right before we came in here. I was surprised at the outcome of it. I wasn't surprised because DC always has the ability to win the fight.
Right.
But I did not expect a first round knockout.
No.
Didn't expect that.
No.
If DC was going to win, I expected it to be a grinding 3-round decision for him.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the well-roundedness of somebody who can stay in the pocket, but not stay in the pocket just to trade punches. Stay in the pocket and threaten the grappling. So Stipe always had to be aware of the fact that, hey, if DC grips me up, he's going to lift me, he's going to turn me, he's going to slam me on my head. And Cormier was always within like 6 to 10 inches of Stipe. Always. Cormier was always within 6 to... He would never strike and get out.
No.
Strike and get... He was... No. I mean, he stayed there.
Forward in his face.
In his face, 6 to 10 inches. And I know that because I pulled it out and I measured it. I was like, that's about 7.5 inches.
So you said, okay, this is my dick. And
I said,
if it was 5 times
larger than my
then
dick,
that would be 10
10
inches.
inches. Yes, that's exactly how I measured it. And he
exact
always
science.
stayed in there.
No, it was beautiful. He almost did the old Gracie, shovel.
Yep.
I mean, that was what set up that last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. DC is probably the most underappreciated champion fighter that we've ever seen.
I'm guilty of it. I do it all the time. Every time DC is announced that he's going to fight and this, and I go, meh. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think because he's such a nice guy. He doesn't make waves. Again, another guy who lives like a fairly normal life.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a squeaky wheel sometimes. So sometimes like he flies under the radar, and I'm guilty of it where I discount him a lot.
But that's crazy.
And I don't know why I do.
But that's crazy you say that because I've talked to a lot of people and people dislike him.
They dislike him.
Like they don't like him.
You know who Cormier reminds me of is the Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, where Steve Austin was everything that was wrong. Right. He was the motherfucker, the drinker, the this, and Bret Hart was the candy baby face, whatever. And people hated Bret Hart and loved. That's how DC is.
Yeah.
Like he's the Bret Hart of the UFC.
Yeah, he's almost like, look at me, like what? Like
like,
this is the guy you want me. Yeah, this is the guy you like, and that's the Bones Jones.
Bones Jones is Stone Cold.
What I feel though, the people who dislike him the most are the Bones Jones lovers.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
But also, you have to look at it like I've heard people say, it doesn't matter. You know, the Jones test, he failed for something bullshit or blah blah blah. But my thing is, Daniel Cormier might be the squeakiest, cleanest fighter we've ever seen.
Yes.
Like, no matter every fighter you've ever heard of or saw, there's a question of, is he on performance enhancers?
Right. Yeah.
Every fighter.
Yeah.
No matter what. But this guy was on the Olympic testing.
Yep.
Into going to heavyweight. He never put on mass.
No.
Like, muscle mass.
No.
And
the consummate dad bod.
Yeah, he looks like Carl Winslow.
Yeah.
Like, they do the memes with the Carl Winslow. And he does. He's just a wrestler. He's a chubby wrestler.
Yeah.
He's got tendon strength. He doesn't have muscle strength.
Yeah.
You know, his muscular strength isn't impressive.
Right.
But he's that guy where you grab onto him, you go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why is this guy so strong?
Yeah. And again, he's the guy that's lifting people, turning them, and slamming them on their head.
Yeah. Barnett.
Impressive fashion.
But that's where
he did it to Henderson, right?
Hendo, Barnett.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, almost everybody. I think he took Bones Jones down in the first fight.
He did take Bones Jones.
He got him down his butt to.
Mm-hmm.
So he's taken on everyone, and that's where there's that difference between, oh man, this guy's a collegiate national champion, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
You know, this guy is knocking on the door for a bronze medal. So that's a different level of commitment.
I know, but I mean, Lesnar is a different animal, though. He really is.
But you look at Lesnar's technical prowess. Let's
shelve that just for a second.
But
let's wrap up Cormier and Miocic.
Yeah.
He hits him with that overhand right off the clinch.
Off the clinch, yes.
And I think that was a combination of really good technique by Cormier, because that was something when we were actively doing a lot of MMA and training MMA and helping fighters get ready for fights, we would always say strike off the clinch. And I think a day one mistake by Miocic to drop his hands coming off of a clinch. So it was excellent technique by Cormier coupled with Stipe's momentary lapse of reason of dropping his hands coming out of a clinch that just made for that perfect storm.
Do you know what that is, though? That's the difference between a complete mixed martial arts fighter versus a boxer MMA guy.
Right. Yes.
Right? Because Miocic is a wrestler. He'll wrestle you, he wrestles. And then he wrestles. And then he wrestles. Then he breaks off. And then he strikes. And then he strikes. And then he strikes.
Yep.
So Miocic most likely probably works with a awesome boxing coach.
Right.
But not an MMA boxing coach.
Right.
AKA Cormier, Khabib, Kane.
Yes.
These guys are always boxing within their wrestling.
Right.
Like their wrestling is their bread and butter, but when they mix the wrestling and the striking together, they can outbox Miocic, who was the best striker in the heavyweight history.
And they're working with coaches who aren't purists.
No.
So they're not working with a Freddie Roach who's just going to say, well, this is how you box.
Yes. Break off the clinch and then go.
Right.
Now they're working ground by the back of the head and
They're working with a boxing coach who probably understands wrestling or probably understands jiu-jitsu, whatever the case may be.
Crazy Bob Cook has been. I mean, there are other coaches there too, but Crazy Bob Cook's been in the game forever. He was coaching BJ Penn, and then for a while BJ Penn was that guy where he was mixing his clinch and his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu and his boxing all together so well that it made people they're like, what the fuck? What do we do?
Yep. Yeah, so it was something done fundamentally right versus something done fundamentally wrong that just resulted in the knockout.
Yeah, boxing versus
perfect
dirty
storm.
boxing. People. I heard some people with the eye poke. That's.
But they were both warned on that.
Right.
They were both warned
Right.
of the fingers
and that's what people don't realize. Like, these guys spar 90% of the time with boxing gloves on.
Right.
So your hands are very loose inside the boxing gloves, and so when you go to the MMA gloves, you know, sometimes you still have those loose techniques.
Right.
It's not like Bones Jones, where Bones Jones is
He'll
like
stick
this.
fingers right
yeah,
in,
like he's trying to keep this, which I don't blame him either, because
Right.
he's got a 7-foot reach.
Yeah.
So you want to keep people at the end of your hand. If you
Right.
could keep people at the end
they
of your
gotta do
7 foot,
this. Right.
then he
Yeah.
can always keep your at gauge. But his was a little bit different. He just threw it out there, and at the end of it, it kind of snapped open.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Cormier, I love him, dude. He has grown to be one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, I'm gonna say after last night, I won't underestimate him or discount him further. I really won't. I admittedly,
but
am
you kind of
guilty
just did with your statement you just
really
said.
am guilty of.
Well, your last
discounting him,
statement
you
you
know?
just said, like where you said the Brock Lesnar is a different monster, which makes me think that you're leaning already.
I hate Brock Lesnar with a.
Okay, let's talk about it. Daniel Cormier wins in super impressive fashion.
Right.
His technique was unbelievable. His game plan was solid.
Yes.
So after he wins,
Vince McMahon comes in and straps the title around. Oh no, I'm sorry. Dana White straps the title around his waist, and you know Cormier goes on this little prepared speech, like he's calling Lesnar out, and Lesnar doesn't know it.
Right.
But the cameraman fucks up and actually shows Lesnar standing there waiting for his cue to come in. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then
Lesnar only showed
up.
up at the heavyweight fight.
Right.
He wasn't even in the crowd.
Scene.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
very. So it was all staged. It was all WWE, and it was all staged. And he gives him the push, and he calls everybody a piece of shit. And you know,
that I really didn't like.
Yeah.
If he had something
but
a little...
That's why he has Paul Heyman in the WWE.
Right.
Because Lesnar can't put 4 words together. No. He's like, Brock Lesnar poop.
I know, yeah.
He needs...
You're a piece of shit! 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 And I was like, what? And that's the thing where, like, I didn't like, because I'm like, bro, you just came from fucking fake fighting, and you're going to talk shit on these guys who just... Miocic just fucking... ended his longest reign. He just lost. He's the longest reigning heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah. You were in his seat too, and you weren't the longest reigning heavyweight champ. So show a little bit of fucking respect,
especially since you're coming off 3 straight losses.
Right. That's another thing too.
You know, people are like, oh no, he beat Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
He didn't. He didn't.
He lost. He failed the test.
He
so
failed the
it
test.
Doesn't count.
Disqualified. You popped.
Yes.
You popped.
So
you cheated.
So it's
so he's coming with 3 losses. His last 3 fights are an L, or 2 L's and an O contest.
And the 2 that he lost were embarrassing. Like, he got dismantled by Overeem. He got dismantled. Kane was beating him up so bad that he was chasing him around the fucking schoolyard, trying to get him.
Yeah, and he's the guy, and you know he's always that guy. He's like he's the biggest, baddest dude in the room. He's going to push everybody around. But as soon as somebody else is as big and as bad, you can go back to Nagano and Lewis. That's why neither one of them engaged. Yeah. Because they'd never really faced anybody that were as big and as bad as they were. Right. You know, and that's how Brock Lesnar was with Velasquez and with Overeem. Mm-hmm. You know, he got in there with somebody who was as big and as bad and as nasty as they were, or as he was, and
a little more skilled,
more skilled, and he got beat. You know, so he's going to try to come in, push Cormier around, intimidate Cormier.
But my thing though is,
Cormier lifts him and
it's like I could say him like coming out and saying, you know, this heavyweight division isn't anything without me. Right. That's why I'm back. I'm here to put some butts in the seats. Yes. Like I could see him going like that. But the piece of shit. I'm like, dude. Yeah, come the fuck on. Like, you couldn't have said anything better. Like, if he said, I would have agreed. I would have been nodding along if he said, listen, you guys need me
to sell tickets.
You know, that's why I'm here, baby. You want the red panties? Connor says red panties? Well, get it, because I got a million fucking WWF tards that are going to buy this pay-per-view just because I'm here. Right. You know, they don't know nothing about MMA. They don't know who Daniel Cormier is. Nope. So, I'm the guy, baby. Yep. Something like that.
Yeah, he needs somebody to write speeches for him.
Something.
Because
Dana!
He's awful.
It was bad.
He's awful.
But it was very
But he's going to sell a ton of pay-per-views. and you're gonna have your MMA purists
Okay.
who say this is a bad fight. He doesn't. What does he deserve? What's he done to deserve? But he's gonna sell. Seats.
No, and I don't. I'm one. You know me. I'm a purist.
Yeah.
I like the rating. Like I said,
I like my real fighting separated from my fake fighting.
For sure. But the heavyweight division is the exception. They need Brock Lesnar because of fights like Ngannou versus Lewis. That's why I said if one of those guys goes out and go Lewis or Ngannou go out and go get it, then I go, man, that's bullshit. Brock Lesnar just comes off the fucking sidelines and gets a title shot. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But I go, he's just as good as. I mean, Derek Lewis is 1-2 or 1-3 in his last fight. Ngannou's 1-2 in his last three fights.
Yeah.
So okay, I don't mind it. And plus, Brock Lesnar does present an interesting challenge,
and I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. You know? So let's.
But generally speaking, I like my fake fighting separate.
All right, well, let's talk. Here we go. Let's flash forward a little bit. Hypothetically, Daniel Cormier beats Brock Lesnar and rides off into the sunset.
That'd be great.
Is he
the greatest of all time?
One of the greatest, if not the greatest fighter. Him and GSP are top 2 greatest fighters.
Randy Couture. I'm a Randy guy.
You think Randy's up there as greatest?
He's up there as one of the greatest of all time. He did a lot.
He did do a lot.
And he did a lot that people didn't give him any chance at doing.
Yeah, but his
fighting style, though.
Yeah, I was there for the Tim Sylvia. Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah.
But to me, I know it's a different time, a different era, but as a complete fighter, there's some of these guys are way superior.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like even GSP 10 years ago was still a complete fighter almost, where he was so far ahead of everybody. I liked Randy, but Randy was clinch you, dirty box you, take you down.
He had a game plan that was hard to stop.
Yeah, but it wasn't
he did it so well.
But it wasn't like some of these other guys. Like when I watch Cormier, I go, that is fucking Olympic wrestling.
Yes.
Mixed with unbelievable
MMA.
No,
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just throwing Randy in there as
for
one
sure.
of the greatest of all time.
And then you go like this. Everybody's gonna say, well, Bones Jones.
Well, maybe that's what they're setting up. Right,
but
Lesnar wins, and they go, here's Bones Jones versus Lesnar. Biggest pay-per-view
that's
going to
be
breaks every record.
And that's the only way you can sell Cormier Jones 3.
Right.
Is if he beats Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
But then it sets it up. If Brock Lesnar wins, does Bones Jones go and go and beat Brock Lesnar, and then he goes, DC, you're a bitch.
Maybe.
I think either way they
either way, bringing Brock back in, and this was hinted at for a long time because WrestleMania, his contract was up after WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar. He renegotiated a contract with the WWE while he was negotiating a contract with the UFC. Now, not he did, but Paul Heyman, his lawyer, his management team. And Paul Heyman made no secret of it. He was on Twitter and Facebook, and he was like, Vince McMahon, we're exploring the ultimate opportunities, and he was like, fuck you. They did not give a shit because they understand that wherever Brock Lesnar goes, sells tickets.
Which is so crazy.
It's crazy because he's a Neanderthal.
He is.
We're not even the same species. How do you look at a Brock Lesnar and then look at me and go, you're both Homo sapiens?
Yeah. You look like something he shits.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. How do you even put it? If you came from another planet, if Independence Day aliens landed, they'd look at Brock Lesnar and look at me and assume it was two different races.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're going to keep the super race around, and we're going to
get
get rid of this little bald guy.
There's a lion, and then there's some fucking
here's a tabby
house cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but that's what it's like.
No, I agree.
It's crazy.
It is. It's some fucking. He is. That's why he is intriguing. It is.
But at least he can come in and perform. It's not like a CM Punk situation.
True. That is.
It's not like a CM Punk situation.
That's very true.
And I think that's. I was thinking about this when Lesnar came in. I was thinking about this morning. Actually, I think it crosses over well the other way. In other words, there's UFC fighters who could go in and do very well in the WWE. But coming from the WWE and the UFC, there is beyond Brock Lesnar. Maybe Kurt Angle 25 years ago, if Kurt had decided to go into MMA coming off of his Olympic gold medals, you probably would have been the Randy Couture.
Yeah.
The Matt Lindlands. Yeah. Those guys. But you're not going to take, The Undertaker and Triple H and what, if you were going to say what UFC stars could go over right now into the WWE and make a couple $1 million fake fighting?
Chael Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen for sure. Yeah.
Connor
for sure, yeah. Cyborg.
Female cyborg?
Female cyborg.
I think so, but she would need a manager.
Yeah. You'd have to give her the manager.
She would have to be like or she could be a manager.
Or Joanna.
Or she could be
Joanna Champion.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe she could be. Holly Holm could probably do it. She'd baby face, and
maybe.
Yeah, she'd baby face. They could give her a gimmick.
Maybe.
Rhonda's not doing well.
No, she's not.
She's awful.
Yeah.
She's awful. She has zero mic skills.
Yeah.
And
That's what I'm thinking of more than anything.
She is a bitch. When she's not happy, because obviously they have storylines. So I think she thought she was gonna walk in the WWE and they were gonna here's a title like they did for the UFC.
Yeah.
And put her on all the posters and everything. But they're writing storylines, and when she comes out, you can see it on her face where she's just like.
Yeah.
I'd beat up every bitch in this ring. She's not playing her part.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she's awful. She's just. But the people fucking love her. You got to see these idiots at ringside crying when she comes out wearing her Rowdy Piper fucking thing, and you're just like.
That offends me that she was allowed to.
I know.
Just take
they
his
gave her,
gimmick.
Yeah.
It's
not cool. It's not cool. But I don't see if you were going to bring people from pro wrestling into UFC. There's no likely candidates unless you're taking it from cruiserweights.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley tried it though and failed at it. He was 2-2 or something.
But he's heavyweight. But he's super a super heavyweight.
But again, he's one of those guys great wrestler, but he never put it all together.
No. Yeah.
Because he was like an army champion or something.
Batista fought.
Dave Batista tried. He was awful. He's awful.
Too big.
I think you'd have to go into the cruiserweights, the 205 pounders, and find some of these guys that are athletes that are jumping, flipping, spinning off the top rope and teach them how to do shit.
Maybe.
Because you're not gonna have Triple H come out and throw a punch.
No, I'm just trying to think of guys who came from
Daniel Bryan.
Well, I'm just trying
the gayest wrestling name ever.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan.
He's the yes guy?
He's the yes guy, yeah.
That's how I knew that WWE has fallen so far. When he became the champ, he was a champ.
He's
for a
the
minute.
guy though. People
the
love
guy?
him.
Yeah.
He's not a champ, but they love him.
Dude, the fucking yes thing. Yes.
The yes movement.
Yes. Yes.
It's the power of positivity, man. It's self-affirmation.
I know, but
you look in the mirror and you go, I am handsome.
But it was
my penis is not small.
How's it working out for you? Yeah, but I'm just saying though, when we had wrestling back in the day, we had the guys who were positive, but they had some stuff to.
Yeah, you had Hogan. Eat your prayers.
Eat your prayers. Eat your prayers. Say your vitamins. Say your vitamins.
Say your vitamins. Eat your prayers. All that kind of stuff.
Stone Cold, fucking drinking beers,
flipping on Vince McMahon, stunning Stephanie McMahon.
Yes.
Those were the good old days.
I watched a clip of it was 28 years ago today. Sting versus Flair.
So good when Sting won at Starrcade. When Sting won the belt.
Yes. Yeah. We're talking about Sting was the early incarnation of Sting, the blonde haired Sting. He was the baby spawn. Is if you took Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and had the baby, because he came in and he was kind of patriotic. He had, I think, in that Stargate when he had that red, white, and blue face paint. So he was just blonde hair. He was. But he was a little crazy, a little wild like the Warrior, but he was also super positive and all for the kids and for the underdog like Hogan was. Mm-hmm. So to me, man, Sting is one of those guys who's super underappreciated.
He's awesome. Yeah, Sting was cool.
I didn't like the Crow Sting though. At first it was cool.
Yeah.
But it kind of wore, it
wore a little thin after a while.
And he's still with it.
Yeah. He's still doing it. Yeah.
I really dug the blonde hair Sting.
Yeah,
I like that.
The old Stinger. And
it was the Rock and wrestling kind of.
Yeah, that was it.
And then he turned
the
to
whole
Crow.
Starrcade thing was WCW/NWA's answer to the Rock and Wrestling of WWF.
Right. Yeah.
And they used to do. Remember they used to do the scaffold matches.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
Yeah.
Starrcade?
Dude,
where they were up on
WCW was
fucking
amazing.
25 feet above the ring of scaffolding.
Yeah.
They holy fuck.
Dude,
Everybody talks
WCW.
about Mick Foley falling off the cage.
Yeah.
The guys in Starrcade, WCW were doing that, like the Legion of Doom versus who was Jim Cornette's people? The Rock and Roll Express? No, not the Midnight Express. Right? Legion of Doom, Midnight Express, fucking Hawk and Animal taking them and throwing them off the scaffolding 25 feet down into the ring and shit, where you're like, dude, they're gonna die, It was crazy.
Yeah, WCW, early on WCW was really good quality wrestling. I felt that when I watched their matches, they were always more impressive than WWF. WWF had more pageantry and better characters, but when you watch the product of wrestling, because to me, WCW, they had like the first cruiserweight division where like they had the Rey Mysterios and the Psychoses. Yeah, like they had the first guys doing flips and stuff.
Yeah.
WWF didn't have any of that. They were all 300 pounds, those guys.
Yes.
They were more muscular.
Vince liked his men big and brawny.
Yeah,
that's how he liked to be treated.
But
rough.
WCW, the biggest, baddest guy was Sting, and he was a slender, more slim guy, but he was athletic, doing crazy things, jumping over top ropes. They were really good.
Yeah.
And they evolved into the Attitude Era, too.
Speaking of, did you see the Moonwalk DDT?
I did. That was in Vegas.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. The
That was
Moonwalk
so good.
DDT.
Yeah, Michael Jackson wrestling.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was really great. I didn't mean to cut you off. That just popped into my head.
I really do. I miss the old wrestling days. I can't wait till my son's a little bit older. I'm going to try and get him into the 80s and 90s wrestling.
Yeah. That's when it was great.
Yeah.
That's when it was great. Anymore, I record it, I DVR it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I lightning through like 3/4 of it.
But that's where like you blow people's mind. If you went back and watched some early WCW days, like the TBS Turner days, like you will watch some fucking unbelievable wrestling.
Yes.
Like super technical
real
wrestling
technical.
going on.
Yeah.
Yep. And not as much pageantry. They didn't have the talkie. That came a little bit later on. That came when Hogan came
Bischoff
over.
and all
Bischoff,
that.
when
Yeah.
Bischoff kind of got involved, it became more about that. I'll tell you though, the best bang for your buck to me still, ECW.
ECW.
Live.
Crazy.
So good.
Yeah.
It was so good. Kingston Armory, $20.
Kingston Armory, yeah.
$20. Every match is gonna be in the crowd. Sandman's gonna be pouring beer into little kids' mouths.
Yep.
I don't know how the fuck you get away with
How
that.
he didn't get arrested. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Sandman, he be bleeding before he even gets in the ring. Smashing his face with beer and the kendo stick.
Yep.
Like every match ended up in the crowd. Every match had blood. For like a teenage kid or like almost teenage kid watching ECW was like fucking the coolest thing ever.
Oh.
I never, still to this day, I've never been to a live.
Again, that was Paul Heyman.
Yes.
That was Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Yeah, that came up out of Philly.
Yeah.
Philly was their home base.
Yeah, and they were huge in this area.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, they don't know too much about ECW, I guess because it was more localized for us. But, man, they were so good. Kingston Armory, I'll never forget that. To me, that's still one of the best live things I've ever been to. Concert, football games, anything like that. Going to ECW matches were fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And they were the guys, too. They had heavyweights doing crazy shit.
Yeah, that, what was his name?
Sabu?
Sabu, yeah. Yep.
Taz was good.
Taz was great, man.
Dude, that's when Cactus Jack, Terry Funk. Terry Funk was 105 then.
Yep.
He wrestled just broken.
Yeah.
Every match he's just bleeding and barbed wire.
And TNA is another one. They started off strong and then they kind of went down a weird path. But
TNA, they came up recently, right?
In the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, they came out strong. They came out kind of like ECW did, where they were like they made an impact, and then they kind of.
But then I felt like they hooked their wagon at Jeff
Jarrett. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett was there. He's not a marquee guy.
That's when I knew the WWF was going downhill too. Was when Jericho became the man.
Yeah.
Because I like Jericho in WCW, but he was never the man. Right. He was always a good TV champion.
Yes.
Intercontinental champion.
Yes.
That was something where WWF fucked up too. They started to make too many titles.
Yeah.
And then they started to lose their luster.
Yep.
And to me, it was always great when they had the heavyweight and the intercontinental,
Yeah.
and then tag. It's
Yeah.
very simple.
And whoever Intercontinental was always the number one contender.
Right, he was. Well, sometimes though the intercontinental, maybe not. They would kind of stay in their own lane because there were a lot of guys. There were a lot of guys who were like the runner-ups or the next guy up.
Yeah.
But a lot of times those the WWF intercontinental guy got to stay in his lane and just be the intercontinental champion. You know what I mean? Like
the Ricky Steamboat.
The Ricky Steamboats. You had the Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect never
was
held
great.
the Rick Rudes.
Yeah.
Like Rick Rude was never gonna fight for.
So
He was never gonna be the guy.
Yeah.
But him as the Intercontinental Champion always created this nice dynamic in there.
When he would come out and start insulting the crowd.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the women loved him. They were throwing panties in the ring and shit. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, a lot of that was
he was
part of
just
the show.
great on the mic though.
Oh, he was great. Yeah.
Inner city sweat hog.
Mr. Perfect too. Mr. Perfect was great.
On the mic.
That's what I said. Like that Intercontinental was like that was your test to see where you can you be the guy.
Yes.
And a lot of guys like the Bret Harts came up and
Yep.
and they were so popular as Intercontinental. They go, I think this guy could
We could give him a push.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels was, yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
the Warrior,
Push,
Macho Man.
Yep.
But it was always nice to have that because it was like you're the man but not the man. You're up there but you're not the man.
Yeah.
And they were great fucking co-main event guys or mid card. You know, really get the things going. I love the Intercontinental title. That was at times that was my favorite title. That's might be my favorite title of all time because it was like Hogan for most of my life. It was Hogan.
I know.
You
I'm
know,
never a Hogan fan.
so it didn't. It changed hands a couple times, but it was Hogan.
Yeah.
And then the Intercontinental was always in because you would lose it. Guys would lose it.
On
And you'd be
TV.
like, oh shit.
They would lose it on
Yeah.
television. Yeah.
Fucking hey.
They'd lose it at a house show.
Right.
You know, you'd be at the CYC.
CYC losing it. You're like,
and somebody would
what?
drop the title, and you'd be like, "What?
Yep.
Oh shit!"
But we're like Hogan was not going to unless it was WrestleMania. He
wasn't going to
dropping
drop the title. No.
And if he did, it was very small.
Yeah.
Very small. Couple match, maybe a pay-per-view once, and then by the time it comes back around, he wins it.
He wins it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
What else did we have happen this week? There was other stuff we were talking about off the mat. I'm just trying to remember some of the stuff we were talking about.
Oh,
off the
MMA.
mat.
Shout out to Rex Harris. Won his fight
His-
at PFL.
PFL.
Yeah, moves on in the tournament, middleweight tournament.
Nice. Local fighter, local guy, and a good guy. He's cool. I've
Super cool. Dude.
had 2 or 3 interactions with him. They've all
Yeah.
been really positive.
Super talented, super nice guy, humble, just one of the coolest dudes. Train with him a couple times a week as much as I can, but he's such a good technical, but really good dude.
Mm-hmm. I know what. Half Gracie, Kurt Osiander split.
Shout out to Kurt. Who's on, what is it? Extreme?
Empire.
Empire.
Rise of an
Jiu-Jitsu.
Empire.
Yes.
Yeah, him and Budo Jake.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other formerly Half Gracie black belts.
Nice.
Going in on that.
Good.
I guess it opens tomorrow.
Yes.
So, you know, if you guys aren't familiar with that, you know, Kurt has been with Half for 20 plus years.
Yeah, 23
years,
Yep.
something like that. And, you know, just in the last maybe 5 years or so, Kurt has really had a spike in his personal popularity.
Huge.
And I think the long and short of it is Half didn't like the spotlight being on Kurt because he's Half Gracie and the spotlight should be on him. And that's my take on it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I
Yeah.
don't think I am.
No, I think so too. I think, and also though, Kurt became so big. I mean, he was on fucking Anthony Bourdain's. He was on,
right.
like he was crossing over into mainstream.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so he just became this character where he.
But I don't think he's a character.
No.
Kurt is Kurt.
No,
Like,
he is who he is.
he's
Yeah, no,
fucking
for
great.
sure. But he is a fucking character. Like,
Yeah, so
you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? So I just think it in the end it works out better for everybody because Kurt has generated so much revenue
Yes.
for Health and himself.
Yeah.
To where now it's not a conflict of interest of who gets the
Right.
the king share of
Yes.
it. Now it's Kurt does Kurt.
Kurt does Kurt.
Half does Half.
Right.
And then we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes. But I honestly I think Kurt's gonna fucking hit the ground running and do absolutely
Hell yeah.
fine. Because as far as I think American Jiu-Jitsu is becoming extremely popular.
Yes.
I think people are loving the Americanized version of
Yeah.
it because it just I don't know. The Brazilians a little more traditional, a little more.
Yeah, and listen, after our debacle with Hoyce,
Right.
and the split with him, we had, me, you, Big Kev had agreed among ourselves that we were only bringing in American black belts from now on. That we were only ever going to bring in
I
American
didn't
black
say that.
belts. You didn't say that?
No, I didn't say that.
Huh? You were privy to that conversation.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there?
No.
Huh? I'm only bringing in
You
American
guys
black
fucking
belts
Trump
from now on.
supporters.
America.
No, but
American black belts.
it's a slightly different,
It's a different
feel
culture,
and
right.
a different style to it, and Kurt epitomized what was great about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the classic Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, mixed with the progression that the sport and the art has
Yes.
gone through.
Yeah.
Where it's not stuck in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, right.
So
Yes.
and on top of it, having the personality to engage with people the way he does, to where he makes you feel like it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, like the Gracies sometimes are intimidating, especially Half.
Yes.
Half is extremely intimidating.
Intimidating, yeah.
So to train with him would be kind of nerve-wracking, where Kurt comes in and he's just like, oh, you fucking idiots, you
Yeah.
know, like where
Yeah.
even if you're not doing the right thing, he makes you laugh to
Right.
where
Yeah.
you don't feel...
Yeah, his last visit here was, that was a good time. That was a really good time.
Dude,
I remember
the
first visit was good too.
we finished that whole bottle of Maker's Mark
Oh my
at
god.
that sushi place.
Yeah,
I was
We're
rocked.
gonna tell that story. So he comes in.
Yes.
We pick him up at the airport, and when we pick him up at the airport, we stopped at the Petro truck stop to get something to eat because he was starving.
Mhm.
And as soon as we come out of the car and we're walking towards the restaurant, there's the lot lizard walking across to the trucker. And fucking Kurt just says something to her. He's like, hey, honey, is it Christian night or something like that? Like, he comes off with this fucking quip that, we met him 5 minutes ago, and he's got us dying laughing. I mean, he just harassed this lot lizard. Gets a burger, like a bacon cheeseburger or something, goes and buys 2 cigars, and goes back to the hotel room and eats. But that next day, I mean, we trained... I think he was scheduled for a 4-hour seminar, but we probably trained 5 hours because he kept going.
Yeah.
He kept going and kept going and kept going. Which, again, you go to a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu seminar, it starts at 8 o'clock, it ends at 10 o'clock.
Yes,
If it's
2
scheduled
hours,
for 2 hours,
it's
it's
2
2
hours.
hours.
Yeah.
And they will not go a minute over. So he's there 5 hours. We go to the sushi restaurant. He finds out it's a BYOB. The state liquor store is right across the street.
Yep.
So he goes and gets that bottle of Maker's Mark, and we get hammered.
Ripped. And here's the thing with Kurt, like, the first time I met him, you guys picked him up that night. I didn't meet him. I met him the next day, and it was like, he makes you feel so, like, welcome that you've known him forever.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was just like, hey, man, how was your flight? Yeah, fucking this, and I got fucking stuck, and then, I slept pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So he goes on and tells you, like, fucking a 30-minute conversation just off of you asking him, hey, how was your flight? How are you doing? To where you're laughing and cursing, and like I said, by the end of that night, me and him were fucking best friends, smoking joints. We
went. Was that the first visit? No, that was
the first
visit.
visit.
That was the first visit because we went back and trained.
No, the first
or the
visit,
second visit.
That was the second visit. Yeah.
Ripped.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we went out 80.
We
drank a little bit, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go fucking train."
We went to Nono's. Yeah, we went to Nono's
yeah.
and got ripped at Nono's. And he goes, "Let's go back and train." So me, you, him, and Ned.
Yeah.
That was just the 4 of us, right?
Yeah.
And we trained like another 2.5 hours.
I don't remember any
though.
of it though. Yeah.
I
He
just
had his vape pen.
I just
we were
remember
all-
Tracy calling, and she's going, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
We're still training. You don't
Music
sound like you're
cookies.
training because we were hammered.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're at the academy. We're hammered. And okay. She's like, okay. Click. She knew because it was Kurt what was going on.
The
And
best
I could not tell you one technique I learned.
I don't
that
remember
night.
that. No, I don't
Couldn't
remember
tell you.
anything.
But it was one of the most fun nights I've ever had
yeah.
in my life, for
Absolutely.
sure.
The best was that first night though was crazy because we went to the sushi place, got wrecked. But this was early. They closed at 10.
Yeah, they closed at 10.
So we leave. He goes to his hotel. We leave. You go home.
Yeah,
I go
home.
back to the apartment. Me and a couple of the buddies, we're all revved up. We're
Yeah.
saying, hey man, it's 11:30, 12. Let's go out on the town. So we go downtown Scranton. We go do our thing. we're walking back to our car, and who do we see in downtown Scranton out of fucking nowhere? Kurt Osiander. In October, it's like 40 degrees out. He's standing out front of fucking the Hilton in downtown Scranton in fight shorts
and flip-flops.
Flip-flops. Smoking an ungodly huge joint in the middle of downtown Scranton, and people are like, "What are you doing?" Like, what? He's just like, "What? This isn't legal here." They're like, "No, this isn't fucking California, you psycho." You know. And but Kurt, he's
Uncle Kurt, man.
He's the coolest dude ever.
We don't have all the details yet, but Uncle Kurt will be coming back.
Yes.
Shortly.
Yes.
Shortly. We got to let the dust settle and get his academy.
Yep.
And he's got Australia and Europe already on the slate. So, you know, hopefully by the end of the year, maybe we could get him back in, but early part of next year for maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but it's in the works. Big Kev is on it.
Yeah.
Big Kev is on it. So we'll be bringing Uncle Kurt back in for another 4-hour madness seminar.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else on the?
No.
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 I don't know. There's other stuff in the news, but I don't think I want to
Is
talk
there?
about any of it. We got kids trapped in mines in Thailand. We got Japan underwater. It's all downer stuff, stuff that I can't make fun of.
Yeah.
Like, you can't make fun of Japanese people drowning or Thai kids
No.
stuck in a fucking cavern. Or
I heard a Navy SEAL died trying
Navy
to get
SEAL
him.
died trying to get them. He brought them
Yeah.
oxygen tanks or something, and he died. You know, so it's like there's like bummer stories going on. There's nothing like we can make fun of. There's no Kanye news. No
LeBron to LA.
LeBron to LA. Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah. Fuck
him.
Fuck him. And his hairline.
Jordan would never go to
Jordan
LA.
wouldn't go to
Just
LA.
saying.
Yeah. He'd just buy a team and coach it.
One thing I gotta say about the Jordan LeBron thing, I hear like the LeBron lovers, they go, well, you know, Jordan was 1-9 in the playoffs before Pippen, you know, and blah blah blah, and he wouldn't have won if he had to play the Warriors or something like that. But my thing with Jordan was he was getting beat by the champions every year, but at no point did he fucking tuck tail and leave.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
LeBron's feels like he needs this validation to go to LA so he can make shitty movies. Which guarantee shitty movies are on the way.
On the way, for
Trust
sure.
me.
Yeah.
He's in LA. Space Jam 2.
He's
is
gonna
coming.
he's gonna do something to make Shaq Fu look good.
Oh.
Shazam.
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 Shaq Fu was actually a really good video game. Dude.
Yeah.
You ever play Shaq Fu?
Yeah, I
Shaq
played Shaq Fu, yeah.
Shaq Fu was fucking legit.
Yeah,
And
Shaq Fu.
his first rap album was not that bad. I remember the
DJ
first
Diesel.
one. I remember the first one. Oh, you jealous punks can't stop my dunks. That was good.
That was a fire rhyme right there.
That was
Is that what you kids
fire.
say?
That
Is that what
was-
you kids say? Fire
yeah.
rhyme? Huh?
Yeah, it was fire. It was,
was
lit.
fire?
It was lit.
It was lit. I pay attention to the lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're fucking hip.
I'm hip.
You're
Yeah.
so
I-
fucking hip.
I am.
You're as fucking hip as any 40-something ginger, bald, fucking white dude can ever be.
Listen, I will break out a dance battle, and
I know you will.
you've seen me hit
You've
the
got
ground.
swagger.
I don't know about swagger.
Well,
I can pop and lockdown and break.
you honestly.
I can break dance. The Atomic Breakers.
The best
Huh?
is Kev.
Kev.
Kev's fake hipness is fucking great. Like he comes in with the Drake music and fucking trying to be hip with the youth, but
Yeah.
it's like it's so stretchy. Like he's like reaching so hard on it.
Mhm.
But I do appreciate the effort.
The effort, yeah. I'm at the other end of the spectrum. Like, I don't give a fuck. I
No.
just throw on stuff that doesn't match. I come strolling in.
Your dress has gotten better though.
Has it?
Yeah. It's matching at least. Like it literally looked like you just
I just hit
stuck-
random.
No, random select on your outfit. Like I always say, it was Mario 3 where you had to line up the fucking mushroom with the mushroom.
Yeah.
It was like you got like a star, a flower, and a mushroom bottom. Like that's how
Yeah.
you. Like somebody stuffed it in a fucking t-shirt gun and just shot a pair. There's like 5 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, and a hat in there, and fucking shot it at you. And it was like orange and fucking green mixed with a brown
I
hat.
don't know. I never just put that much thought into my wardrobe.
You gotta swag.
I've been married for 20-something years.
That's true.
And,
You're unfuckable
you know,
at this point.
Yeah. Who wants to touch my dick?
Yeah.
You know, if Tracy ever got rid of me, there's nobody out there that wants to touch my
No,
dick.
you're-
Man, woman, or, animal. I almost said child,
Yeah.
but the FCC would have shut us down quick. You know,
All
man,
right,
woman, or animal.
and we're done on that note.
Yeah.
Before
No,
before Jeff incriminates himself further,
Nobody ever.
before he tells us where the body's
I
buried.
don't want to touch my dick.
No.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's disgusting.
it is. It's like a dried up raisin.
I'm just thinking about it.
An apricot dried. Yeah.
Don't shortchange yourself.
Don't shortchange. Yeah, I'm beautiful in my own way.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's everything. I'm good now. I need to go get a shot of tequila because my buzz wore off. How's your buzz? Okay.
Pretty good.
All right.
Running strong.